Good morning. This is the crypto day morning. Today's date, Friday, 7th of December 2018. My name is Derek. All bets trades and of the like. Well, that is within one's own risk and their own reward. As a lot of people's crypto portfolios have been heading south, as of course the cryptocurrency markets continuing its decline. Since it broke this line at 62.46, which is the exact 23.6% Fibonacci rounded to the nearest dollar, it had very little volatility beforehand, but on the date of November 14th, almost 1 month ago, it had that decent move, large volatile moves ever since, and of course it's been correcting within this 18 average of lows, leaving such convincingly yesterday at this current level of support. Definitely a noticeable pierce below, but I wasn't expecting this area to find support, or little to none, and so far that has been the case. Of course, I got a price objective in at 3,000. I have had that for quite some time, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out, as I expect that to be the case. For the question for myself as a trader would be, do I just still wait for 3,000? It's only got another 12 or 13% decline to go. Or do I just quote unquote cover the short at this time? Well, I look at it in a situation, and we're going to shorten the time frame out more in this video after I'm done this, but on the monthly, and I got the Fibonacci for the 3,000. We can see it's a pierce above at this stage, so it's now pretty much a hit, and I mean, and it is that it has come down to that level, because when I bring these numbers up, the way it works out is that's usually the areas where they hit, sort of like we've seen how it hit within the 62.46 level. Of course, this one barely pierced below as it went down to 59.20. And that's what usually happens in these crypto markets, is they usually pierce a little bit extra on the way down or on the way up. So that's why I would look at this, where this line is. I see, let me just go like this. You can see even like 2,500 would be a pierce below. And an okay pierce below, a very small pierce below, would be the 2,700, 28 range. A noticeable pierce below would be 2,275. A 50% retracement is in the area of 1,700, and then around 1,000 is below that. Now, if support isn't found where you're supposed to find it, that usually means you have a fast move to the next level. And we're supposed to find support in at that of the 3,000 key area. So the way I look at it, it's a worse bet, in my opinion, betting that this will not find support, than betting insurance on blackjack, which is basically a sucker's bet in the casino game. I think there's a very good likelihood that it happens. So as far as not selling now, well, the way I look at it is there really is three possible situations. One, it never does see 3,000, and my buy orders will never get, or my buy orders on Bitcoin, sell orders on Tust will never get filled. And that means the market would have to go higher, and my portfolio would be well fine with that. It hits 3,000 and it finds support at that level, and my portfolio will most certainly be much happier on that situation. And then it doesn't find support here, and then it goes to 1,000. That's the interesting situation. For if it did find support there, when you look at point A low, point B high, point A low, point B high. Last time it only had a small move. It just corrected a small amount here, and that's pretty much what it's done so far. It's now the equivalency. It's pretty much of the decline from this. Pretty much the same move below the 18 average. But if there was a situation of A low, B high, C low, D high, and B low, which is 1,000, and then you go to the next high, well, what I like to do is use Fibonacci upside. Now, generally speaking, the way that I would work towards it is that of, I'm looking for an uptrend, which is the obvious case from 2015 to the end of 2017. And then I need to see a price correction lower, which I have seen. So all those variables come into play. And therefore, I'll take the $3,000 level from the $20,000 high and calculate some Fibonacci. So therefore 20,000 as a high, 3,000 as a low, which would bring you a price objective at about $65,000 on Bitcoin. But here's the deal. If we look at the situation of making the nice higher low after a move and then breaking resistance, then oftentimes you would expect it to be a decent size higher. And I don't think it would matter too much if it bottoms at 3,000 or 1,000 on the eventual break of 20. So one of the things that I've been just playing around with for really these smaller size price corrections like this, if it only corrects like 38%, is do low or do high divided by this Fibonacci number, even if it doesn't go there and it corrects down here. As long as it has a very good correction nonetheless and it's corrected enough through spit through price in here, a lot through time, and another leg through price. So that's good enough on that sense. So I'll take this number and then use that. So the calculation is 20,000 divided by 1,000, so 20, to the root of 1.618, and then you multiply that by 1,000. That's what this thing is going to do to calculate the upside. So let's put in 20,000 now as the high and 1,000 as the low, which gives us a price objective to about 125,000. And I would consider it to be more likely talking about point A low, point B high, point C low, point D high, and whatever the low happens to be, to the next high, to probably be in at around an area of such. And 125,000 is like up here. So it's like one decent leg higher as it is anyway. Of course, this is talking a long time into the future if such an event even happens. After all, if it doesn't, we'd be looking at either no support here or the failed or a support here that probably goes up to like 6 to like 9, 10 or whatever, and then breaks down. Either way, I'm playing that cryptos will, at least not as of yet, be in failure mode and thus be in success mode or an up move as we end this decade and move into the next one. Okay. I spent more time talking about the long term that I planned on doing so, and that's really not much of a surprise. So now let's just quickly go through the rest of the analysis. Now this is short term, so anyone not caring about that, thanks for tuning in. Let's continue further. So obviously it's been resisting such. I'm going to quickly just switch this from the TUSD. And within this, it's breaking out, but it has a larger pierce above, and well, maybe we'll shorten it out and see if they can figure it out, because I mean, I'll talk about this, of course, but this is just unlucky. It goes up to 31,000 and change. However, it's back down to this level. Situation for this market is you establish this level of resistance, come back down with this nice correction, beautiful support at the 18 lows, and since, of course, breaking this resistance, decent move higher. And amongst the Bitcoin chart, we can see how it was resisting the highs. It's broken down the support, and it's also had a decent play. It's had a small correctionary move since. So let's switch it up to the single hour. And there's the 2 hours going down from 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time last night, establishing a level of support at around 3,300. Obviously not going below it since, although the TUSD did make new highs. So we'll get to that in a second. But just now correcting within the 18. Obviously the reverse will be true on the other coin. And there we can see how also it's gotten this move there. Yes, the 18 average low finding support as well. This high was 31,964. Only about 50, I got 30 under 33,300. But not quite high enough. Had I have gotten this sale, what I probably would have done was I would have bought back the exact same amount that buy it back and maybe have an extra little bit of a sell order in for like, well, what would work out to like 2,600 or 25. I don't know what I would do, but it's kind of sucks when you have the order in. It's an artificial move, but only price pay. So anyone who had like 31,964 and lower here managed to get paid. And when we look at this on the Bitcoin chart and switch it to the 15-minute time frame, well, it looks like things might be ready to get going again. Well, maybe. I mean, if it does, what's it going to do? Resistance has been established. We've also had a short-term level of support being established. Overall, this is really nothing more than a sideways range, and there's another layer of support. You could say this level here, in this general area, it was resistance from the first, since the start of the decline, and then the rally that broke above in here, and this, albeit a small one, had a small correction because it only came back to where it came from, thus continuation of this sideways range. Let's remove these lines, but breaking, of course, key lines, what's going to happen? Well, breaking the support line, you're pretty much going to 3, and then whatever it pierces below. Breaking the resistance line, you're talking about filling some of this empty space, moving into the high 34s, into the 35s. And that's really generally all it comes down to. And we see the same thing here amongst on the 15. And if we look back at this, and I haven't looked at the 1 minute on this yet, to see if this was just a 1 minute deal, and it probably was. Yep. See, when stuff like this happens, this is somebody who had to sell a whole bunch of Bitcoin. And obviously, the volume, of course, really, really high, 459,000, $500,000 somebody had to get out of, taking an average price. I don't know what the average would have been because of where the buy orders were. Probably closer to somewhere around here, because generally speaking, there'd be more orders here than there would be up here, I would think. I don't know. But these are the types of moves as a trader that I look for. Of course, I didn't get this one, where you get the buys and sells at what I call artificial prices, but only price pays, and if the orders you have fills, well, there you go. If you had 32,000 in, you got a 10% gain. So that is generally the basis of it. Of course, these plays can happen on the start. And I've been getting into a Cryptopia exchange, and I'm quickly going to show you a chart there. On a coin I was considering getting, there's about 7 to 10 of considerations I didn't play. One being, well, we'll take a look. It's that code of Factom. It went up about close to 8 times higher. And the way I played, the market here was like 0.5. So I put a sell order in somewhere around 0.7. Maybe again at around 1. Then again at about, well, 150. Probably again around 3 something. No, I probably would have missed out on the top. Being real. Because if it was like 0.5, again, I'm going to look for about 0.7 as a sell order 1. Like a $1.20 as a sell order 2, $1.30. No, I would be going 2.5. It would be close. Let's put it that way. I would have either been in here or a little bit above there. So I can't say exactly what it would have been. But again, these are the types of things that I'm hoping I might get my fair share worth of as time progresses into the year 2019 and 2020s. Take care and have yourself a great weekend. And I'll be back later today with a bunch. I'm not going to say a bunch more videos because I've been doing a lot. But I would be surprised if I didn't pump out another 1 or 2 more videos at least. Take care.